Inspired by Save the Children and Children's Society movement, I decided to create a short cartoon for not only the war orphans and the domestic abuse victims, but children who have lovely family with responsible and caring parents. After a deep research, I got the idea about the most popular cartoons and animated movies for children nowadays. I do like cartoons and animated movies. I've been watching many of them myself. I observed that how the most famous animated movies are washing the brains of the youth. They are lying about endless possibilities and they are suggesting that everyone can be anything, no matter who you are and where are you from. The only thing that matters is how much do you believe in your dreams. This is, in my opinion, one of the most harmful lies that children got told. It even makes them feel bad if they don't succeed, suggesting they failed because they did not believe enough to get successful. I do love creating animations and I am far from professional, but I wanted to stand up against these awful trends. Young and adult must understand there are limits and so many things are impossible to achieve, and there is a reason for it. The reason is simple. This is how our world works. We have to understand it and take our beautiful world's rules seriously and being responsible and have a healthy mind to save millions of lives by doing it. I have tried doing two techniques creating animations. One of them is the traditional flipbook or spinbook technique. The other one is my own invention, the drawbook technique. Both techniques have their advantages and disadvantages. The spinbook takes ages to prepare, and after the preparation, it takes up a lot of space and the frames need extra care. So storing a flipbook is complicated. The drawbook is the opposite of that. It is easy to store and there is no need preparation. As soon as I have a good quality sketchbook, I can jump right into the drawing stage. The drawbook technique also good for animating high quality drawings, while the flipbook works with basic line drawings. I plan to create a mixture of these two techniques for the first time in my life. I had a decent idea in terms of the story, a short but strong one with a message of self-awareness. I wanted to use my nephew and niece, use them as the main characters. They would symbolize the children in general. I did go wild with my ideas. I did write down everything I had in mind according to my theme, and from all these ideas, I selected the most suitable elements and wrote the storyboard. I drew the most important visuals for each scene. After this stage, I started to draw the characters. The villains were easy to draw and took several hours, and I was ready to transfer my nephew and niece, Mark and Vivian, into cartoon figures. I asked my sister for photos of them and she sent me plenty. At this stage, I started to struggle. I couldn't get their faces and characteristics right. This is another thing for me to advance and practice. I never draw anything from photos. I draw things from life models or from my imaginations. I decided to make progress in the other parts of the cartoon. I wanted to draw another 360 image for the background of the scene where the action is happening. I made a thumbnail based on a 360 photo, then I started to draw the furniture, and also I gave more precise outlines for the structure of the scene. At this point, coronavirus has arrived to the Highlands and the college got closed. Because I had no computer to work on, I got plenty extra time to spend on my graded unit. But I kept struggling with the main characters and it made me demotivated. It disengaged me. After a long struggle I gave up, dropped the idea and went back for a former work of mine, the peanut animation I made for Pinky Dog books. They gave us children's book to illustrate. I chosen Peanut, the simple but sweet story about the baby elephant, Peanut, who wanders away from the elephant crowd, gets lost, but at the end there is happiness. I started to think this is something new, something that I'm happy to draw. I changed the plot for my story and I made my own elephant, my own world with a similar message to my original story, but a completely different approach. I drew the storyboard and started to prepare my frames because I knew there is only one way now to create this animation, the flipbook technique. Simple line drawings, a fluid movement and a short, simple story which explains children if they got carried away by their dreams, it can take their lives. I was thinking about doing a stop-motion flipbook hybrid because I didn't know at the time that not much later my mom will surprise me with an amazing laptop for my birthday. The other person who helped me was my former classmate Morgan Jenkins. She was happy to help me and gave her beautiful voice to my elephant. I admit that I didn't think about Dumbo at all while I imagined my story. However, there are some similarities. Dumbo wanted to fly and he could at the end of the story. My elephant wants to fly and she can at the end of the story, but she dies horribly for her dream. She flies only because she dies and became an angel. This sudden twist can be a bit shocking. But this is the message I want to push through. This is why we can't be anything we like to be. This is why we can't do whatever we like to do. This is why we must be sane all the time and be responsible for things we do. The reactions for my animation are mixed so far. Mostly people found it dark and creepy, even if it has a happy ending. Real life, real world doesn't work that way as our fantasy does. Here are serious rules and they will teach us painful lessons if we get fooled by nonsensical sugar-coated lies by animator studios. Making this little animation was so complex, including the preparation, the drawing stage, the scanning stage, the finalizing works with Photoshop, the frame creating in Photoshop, the video editing in Premiere Pro, and the music editing in Audition. At the end, I'm pleased with it and I'm happy I was able to make it. It made out from 490 hand-drawn frames and over 1,000 digitally made frames. The only thing left is to sit back and enjoy the video.